Well, it's the end of the day, but still one more flight to take. I'm at Houston International Airport. I want you to profit by the time that I have here in the lounge. So let's look at number 9 in the series on the Gospel in Galatians. This one's entitled Paul's Pastoral Appeal. And I love the fact that Paul isn't simply writing a theological treatise. He's not simply explaining some abstract aspects of theology. He desperately cares about these people that he's writing to. Of course, he knows some of them. They're his converts. He really does have an intimate knowledge of them, and he has a personal relationship. So that's why he's making this pastoral appeal. He's saying, don't go back. Don't go back to the way you were before. Hold on to the truth of the gospel. Don't follow this gospel, which is really no gospel at all that these people are preaching to you. Don't go back into the bonds of legalism. Don't go back into the slavery of sin. And he really wants them to recognize that he is the one who shared the gospel, so they should listen to him. He has that authority. He has that leadership role. He's the one who presided over their conversion. He presented the gospel, the good news to them. And he really does want them to hold on to the truth and not to get distracted. I love the fact also that in this particular lesson, they've brought in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 7 to 12, where Paul talks about having this treasure in clay jars, in these earthen vessels. Nothing to be proud about. We've got treasure, but we're just the earthen vessel, just the clay jars, the ordinary vessels by which things were carried around, stored, containers. We're just the container for the treasure, which is God himself, the treasure of the good news, the way in which he saves us. Ellen White, in our notes for this time, makes this comment after quoting 2 Corinthians 4 verse 7. She says, "This is why the preaching of the gospel was committed to erring men rather than to the angels. It is manifest that the power which works through the weakness of humanity is the power of God, and thus we are encouraged to believe that the power which can help others as weak as ourselves can help us." We're the weak earthly vessels, but God can put his treasure inside of us, and in that way make a real difference in the way that we live our lives. So this is why Paul is making this pastoral appeal, because he desperately cares for these people. He wants them to hold on to the truth as it is in Jesus, not to follow some other made-up doctrine, some man-made system, some conviction about following the rules and so on. Follow the truth as it is in Jesus, as the Spirit leads. May we also have that same attitude. Following the pastoral appeal that Paul gives to the Galatians, read it for yourself, apply it to yourself and say, this is God speaking to me. How should I live? And respond to that appeal. May God bless you as you do just that.